Jeremiah part 6. We're going to go back to, or I'm going to back at 20, chapter 26, verse 14. And let me get rid of this and put me up there. And I'm hoping this works here, up here at the top. Yeah, it's making my mouse disappear, but the object is I thought we should put something up in there instead of referring to the map all the time. This way it's there and you get an idea what I'm speaking about from time to time without me having to stop. Trying to speed these things up a little bit and kill a little dead space there, or put some information in dead space. Verse 13 here is where I wanted to start. Amend would be repent. Deeds were changed to sins because their ways and deeds, we're talking about the evilness that's going on. Anything against our Creator um, himself is what's known as evil or evilness. And then because that is of the 12 commandments, that it is a sin. So this has to be correctly to be put sin here. The word put to sentence. Okay. Gotta set that earlier. It's a sentence we're talking because of picking up from the last video. I was changing it to their approach. The priests have taken him in front of judges to let them sentence him to death, and then they could kill him. But as the story's going on here, that isn't what happens. And he's replying that he's truthfully saying, why he has sent me to speak prophesy. And then all these words in your hearing, that's for the judges as well. They reheard it. And here's the word judges. Okay, changed from officials to judges. Then our officials, he said to the priest and their diviners, no death sentence ever for this male, because they never kill him. So I had to stick the word ever in. Micah. Now, what happens here when we look at Micah's text, there's not much there of him really saying really bad things about the king and priest. And I don't know how to get my mouse over it, but you can see here that this king here, Manasseh, he is the king that has this meditation practice, and now they're allowed to put anything they want into our Creator's house. Well, Ezekiel is that person that talks about at that time. And when they're talking about Micah here, that isn't much text, but I referred it to Isaiah because he's the last prophet, and he's the prophet from, maybe I better pull up my timeline here so I can see it over here on the screen. So you guys got it all blown up here. I just needed to remind myself here what's going on. Because Jeremiah comes with Josiah, the second one here after Amon, who's actually a son from Ezek. And this is what I'm saying is he's just the last king, but Micah doesn't have any text. I guess when I was talking about Ezekiel, I'm talking about another prophet that's going to come up here. So here, um, uh, deserted. Um, it's kind of going with the words and ruin the mountains. No, our Creator never tore down any mountains. I switched the words here. Um, the word misfortune. Um, I went and changed screens, and I guess I should do that this time, but to show you, whoops, this would have been 26. I'm way. Yeah, it's actually 19, so misfortune here. So notice the word I'm trying to click on L here. Now this L is not talking about God, and yet um, those that you know that yes, this word is also used for God, the title of God. But anyways, misfortune. When I'm looking through here to change a word, I see disaster. Okay, is a better use, and then like the word which. When you see all these words, um, or I'm using it as the word what 8 times. It's just that when you figure out what these words mean, like the word what, when somebody asks you what happened, you go through and describe um, a lot of things that happened. You talk about the who, what, when, and why to describe the word what. So when I'm using the word what, you have to understand that the definition of what is the subject you're at that he's talking about, and it's the subject above here that he changed his mind. Disaster what he had prophesied against him. Now, okay, here's that priest. Now, his name was okay, Uriah. And here, this is what I'm saying might be Ezekiel when it comes down to it. Because when we're going to read the story or go through the story, I have to have he preached against the city, or against Jerusalem, and against our land with similar words, and then later it's Manasseh up here that you can see, because we have Jehoiakim, he's down here at the end. Well, this is already, this is not saying that this has happened. This conversation is talking in the past, and it would have been something that would have been fresh on their mind. So, and they're going to be talking about the last time they killed a prophet in Jerusalem. So, um, here it's Manasseh did this, King Manasseh. That was it him? No, an A. Okay. And all he'd heard, then he sent them to. When Uriah heard, he fled to Egypt, and so this king sent those men to Egypt, and they brought him back, and they slew him with a sword, and he killed him with a sword, and threw, not cast, threw his body into the burial place for common people. But when you look at the words Ezekiel does, and we'll get into that in the timeline because I have to go do Isaiah next, but you're going to see that Isaiah or Ezekiel has this vision of what they've done inside his house. So I'm thinking this guy's name's going to be changed to Ezekiel. Um, and you're going to have to put up with this here. Those are all the words of. I did something with the find and replace and messed up. So, and it's buy for yourself. You're not going to make yourself. Here I'm using the word chain, and I'll show you why in the text below, because it's not really bonds, but chain. Oh, okay. Keep hitting snooze. It doesn't have a button to say shut it off. So, all right. Talking about the word chain, and I'll show you why later. Um, down here, lands to kingdom. Now remember that this kingdom is not a large area anymore. It's only probably about 30 square miles, something like that. And being that it's in the middle of all this text, I put down 3 verse. So, but I think it actually goes right in line with the text here and then in line with this here text. So it's strange to see how something they'll stick in the middle and they'll put all their stuff around it, and yet they're still using the text. Or I can find the text here. And they divine to you. And this is our Creator talking. Now bring on their neck under this yoke of the king for Babylon. Now, okay, now Zedekiah came and he repeated the prophecy in front of people. And he's saying these things, and that's the prophecy that he's declaring. And then this text is going to jump someplace else at another time, but we're going to get back to the story of that prophecy of him there. But this is concerning his pillars, where I changed the word sea to altars. They use the word sea as altars, and that is just their sitting meditating, and the word sea is actually meaning they're seeing inside their head. But this trickery of words that they use have deceived many people. So to change it to be truthful, we're talking about bronze. The altars are made out of bronze. I'm pretty sure their stands are. I got to check on that. But though that material was reusable, they could take it and make something else. So this was, what would I say? When they're pillaging, this would be a great reward for their king of all this bronze that they could reuse. In fact, it probably, hmm, I don't know. I was just thinking of in Nebuchadnezzar, what would he use the bronze for? Well, he made a statue of himself, so maybe that's where some of this went to. They aren't vessels; they're utensils. There's no vessels in the tent or any of the service for the tent for meeting with our Creator, or house for meeting with our Creator. They're utensils. That would have been the plates that they brought the mussels in on to put on the altar. It would have been the knives that they used and these type of things. So now you got to understand the size of these plates, because they're going to be used as plates that Nebuchadnezzar's son had this. Remember the writing on the wall? The handwritten come out and written on the wall. So these plates that they brought in, the muscles are all the actions from the animals that say that they were sacrificing the 1-year-old ram, to then take out the muscles, which means action of your sin. This is the plate that we're talking about that they used. So you get an idea that if it's table size for a person to sit at, these might have been some large plates, but they were made out of silver and gold. So I needed to add the word everything here. Take everything, because it's being mentioned with all these. They're not nobles that were taken, they're captives. Again, these verses can be used as a format, but the only thing is when I didn't use them, I saying I'm taking them out, not going to use them. Now we're on to the king here. It was the last king, as you can see up here, in the 4th year. But now remember, okay, now it's Hannah the diviner. Now remember, the story above is Jeremiah was sent. Well, this is the conversation that he's actually in here, because as you'll see him, then Hannah, his diviner, prophesied to me about his house. This is going to be words of Jeremiah saying what happened after he prophesied. And here Hannah is going to sit here and say that I broke the yokes of the king from Babylon within 2 years, and going to bring back to this place the utensils for my temple. Now, here I'm using the capital letters, meaning that it's our creator, but I'm not going to do that with the word temple. I'm not going to use the word house, because their trickery is to keep talking about a temple, but their temple is up here where they're meditating. This is their Jerusalem, their holy place, their meeting place. Their, much goes on in your mind, so there's many different descriptions of this. But I think there was a prophecy, I think in Isaiah, where it's our creator actually saying that you guys keep saying, I swear by the temple, I swear by the temple, but that's what you say, and not what it is known as my house. So using their correct words at the time that they would have been speaking. And then he said to Hannah, in the presence of the priests and who were standing by, he's now saying that his words have to be confirmed, that whatever you say has to be done before you're a prophet. So don't say you're a prophet yet. So I think we're missing the words there, but he's kind of reminding them that prophets know that we're speaking about things in the future. And now he says whatever you're saying might happen, but it has to be proven. And it's not what I am about, it's what I know, and I will speak in your hearing. You don't speak about yourself when you're prophesying what you're given to know. Then you speak in the hearing, for the hearing of our kings, and by our prophets who were before me, from past kings, not ancient kings. Ancient to them, you remember we're talking 2,000 years ago, ancient to them has to mean like at the time of I would say Noah to Abraham type of thing. Anything from Abraham forward um, is their history, but this lost history between those two times, um, it's really not detailed. And there's so the thing here is that would have been the word ancient, but it's past kings they're talking about, not past times, because there was no prophets until uh, the nation of Israel was created. Um, in other words, given the promised land, then prophets appeared. Yes, I know the word prophet is being used for Abraham, but he can't be proven he's a prophet. And why would some so-called Pharaoh, which is really the word king of Egypt, know about something that happened to him that isn't going to happen for another 400 or 500 years? So here's a real good example that prophets go to the kings and then come forward. So just screwy text and screwy words being used. And it's not against many lands and yes, great kingdoms. It was the kings that they went against. There's two different ways to describe what's going on here because it's talking about great kingdoms, and this might need to be changed because, example, when they went into the promised land, they did what, one, two, three, four kings and a group of Palestinians that are, I don't think they're Palestinians. That's Lankish, that's down farther. But when they went above Lankish, when Joshua went up from the promised land, there was a group of five rulers together as brothers ruled the area. But the thing there is then there would have been those are like what 20-mile square areas. So you have to understand when the word kings and kingdoms is using. Yes, the words are being. I'm trying to make sure that here I guess the word kingdom should be nations. Kingdom is used. Yeah, this has got to be changed. No, this is being used right. But the other thing is Assyria come down, and that would have been great kings. So this great kings is got a variable on it. What he's really talking about. Um, yeah, he's reminding them that those came to pass. That's only then our prophet is known as one who YHVH's sent. So he's reminding them exactly what a prophet is, because they're calling him a prophet at that time because he's declaring and they're going by past experiences how he's reacting to what he's doing, that they're claiming Jeremiah is a prophet. Now, I had to put this text in here because when I cleaned it up, it only has 3 verses, and everything here is we're speaking before. So I needed to add this verse here. And then after he leaves, now words from YHVH came after Hannah, the diviner, broke field. Now it's going to go into what our Creator is describing. And he told me, because he's not prophesying, he now told me, go speak to Hannah and thus say, now, where is it? Okay, here's the word iron. Now, here, the word iron is being used, and that's when I went to use the word chain. So the word iron and the word chain has to relate together. So not just bonds, but chain. And their neck of the tribe. And then he's because he told a lie, he's now gonna tell them that you're gonna die. Um, uh, Here we don't know that, for you are going to die. Yeah, no, it's here, died in that year in the seventh month. Now, because it's four verse here, I needed 4 verses here before the siege, is what I'm talking about here. So I added that. It's kind of a guess, but in that same year, we don't know, but he's telling them. And I know now that he's using the word Nebuchadnezzar, it has to be um, shortly before it happens, that they're already on their way. They can hear him coming. But this is kind of what he's saying, that now you're going to go into um, captivity. And so you can see why the people were taking him. Why don't you kill him now? Because he's more or less, it's getting close. We can hear the rumblings of them coming. So the story will be much clearer to you when you see it being put together as one great big story. So um, yeah, here he's using the word Nebuchadnezzar. So that's what I'm saying. Now it's getting close, and we're in the last king here. So welfare to good, seek your good. Um, you have to understand about the captives. The captives aren't really like made into slavery. They're stripped of their wealth. So when they're brought to the land, their new living area, they weren't all made slaves. They were given a place to live, but now they might be assigned, like, okay, now you're farmers, or you do this, or you do this. We needed you into the workforce. But because they didn't have great wealth, they can't travel. They don't have uh, the animals to travel with, able to supply themselves, but they were able to accumulate their own wealth. So this thing of being captives is not to be thought of as slavery. Um, and this 2 and 10 years has been completed. Now, I don't know how many times 20 years is mentioned, is that when it's completed, that they'll come back to their own land. But it's not 70 years, it's 20 years. Daniel has 70 weeks, and you can refer them to 70 years. But that is the complete rebuilding of Jerusalem and the walls, and made it the fortification again. But here, just sending people back, it was 20 years in exile. So this word has to be changed, or 7 has to be changed twice. And you'll see this mentioned a few times here in the text. Because I think Daniel said he was studying the text to when they're to return. And I can't remember if an angel appears and tells him 70 weeks. I don't have that great of a memory there. Well, it's pretty good, but that I don't speak about enough to have on the tip of my tongue there. This place is referring to your own land, and I'm using own and land as the 2 words. Not know, but remember my plan for you, my plans for you, and that is Jesus is coming. So the plans really will probably be colored in red. You will again call upon, come to my house, not just to me, but my house. I will gather you from everywhere and bring you back. And when you look at everywhere, You have to remember Assyria took them. They were scattered uh, to Egypt. Now, everywhere kind of is a descriptive word of these two areas. I didn't know how to put it as not from all, but from everywhere. So everywhere is these two kingdoms. And bring you back. Um, this is probably the largest text that I took out. And everything. Restore, bring back. I will bring back because I'm talking about returning, not restoring. I use the word bring back the fortunes because it's not fortunes. And I didn't want to say that I'm replacing the word fortunes with back. That's just so I'm having to have to use the word bring back his people. See, I've got it. It'll be in red here. To both of these areas. And here our creator would be using it when they were a good time. So these are capital letters with all other small caps. So the thing here is that's meaning the good kingdoms to remind them that good nations. Okay, I'm wondering about whether I should use this or not use this, and I can see that 8-point text, I'm going to get rid of it or remove it. At a certain point, I didn't know what these were meaning, and now that I'm kind of checked into it a little bit, they're a format, but I didn't use them. I was thinking about using them, but sometimes you get pieces stuck out there that don't fit the story. They probably came from somewhere else, though, but anyways, uh, mankind, break mankind's yoke from their neck. Um, maybe that should be an apostrophe there. And the word title for our creator, I'm changing it to Yah because they will serve Yah, David's son, whom I will raise up for them. So it's kind of has to be not serving David's God, but the promise is that they'll live and serve in his kingdom. Whose kingdom? Yah's kingdom. That's the name they give to him in, I think it's Psalm 149. So I have that in Psalms, and I even have it under everything mentioned with the word Yah, and you'll read it. As you read it, you'll come to that decision that yes, they're talking about uh, a name they gave David's son because they had new songs to sing. This was a lot of text that needed to be taken out. Well, a lot more than I thought. Almost looks like the whole chapter of 31 is gone. Okay, and then the 10th year. Okay, now see, this is in the 10th year. Yeah, now, I think it has to be they had been beseeching because I think, yeah, Zedek didn't do 11 years, he did 10 years. So this might need to be corrected to the 9th year. This would have been the 18th. I got it as 18th month. 10 and 8 months. Oh, um, I know. I'm going to use either or. And I think this one here, this here is going to be removed. Okay. Oops. It's not the right color or a good color. Um, this color, this is because this has to be the ninth year. This should be the ninth year and the eighth month when they beseeching because it only had like um I think there's only 9 months in their calendar year, and I think it was on the fourth month of his 10th year that they broke down the walls. So, and then they fled. So this has to be looked at. Let's see, where is that text? Here. I need to get that as a group. Okay. So, pretty sure I'm going to get rid of this. This needs to be changed the ninth year when they were besieged Jerusalem. Okay, I guess I got this wrong except for this part. No, because it was in the fifth month that I think he was released. Might have been in the fourth month he was released of the 10th year. After they broke in, after they killed him, they went in and found Jeremiah still being guarded in the guardhouse. So text got to reflect. I got to check where I stuck that text. Go from there. I guess that's maybe I already checked it. I don't know. Just want to make sure. He was under guard by the king and stopped him from saying, oh, yeah, because this is a description. And then these verses here, almost like I'm about to give this city into these. I think this is getting moved and around, and because it's choppy here. Even though I can find a format, it sounds like it's all one group here. I'm not sure it is though later. Um, no, Hannah here. I think I have Hannah. Excuse me, I might have two Hannahs here, so I gotta check something real quick. Okay, I've got an N at the end of this, and might have to change this to an E. Can't have two names the same. You can see I'm reducing it here to, yeah, I gotta check that. I can change that. Another thing on the list I gotta do. All right, now What time is it? Okay, 40 minutes is up. So I'm going to cut this one right here. And I'm going to get back to because this starts a new story. So I'll get into that. So into the next video.